Every day, we touch the physical glass and metal of our devices, but the actual work is done by an invisible intelligence, a system of rules moving quietly beneath the surface. For a student trying to understand this system, it often feels like being handed disconnected pieces of a map and told to run, without any instructions on how to read the terrain. These technical fragments come fast. When the terminology piles up without a clear foundation, the subject starts to feel like weather to be endured rather than land to be walked. It mimics a physical sensation. It is like standing at the edge of a deep pool, feeling the heavy pull of gravity and believing that if you step forward, you will sink. This feeling of being lost does not stem from a lack of capability. It comes from the absence of a foundational map to navigate what cannot be seen. We often approach complexity by relying on the most superficial layer of reality, the label. We memorize words like algorithm or neural network. Knowing a name creates a false sense of security. A polished vocabulary can easily mask a complete lack of comprehension. When we mistake a buzzword for functional knowledge, we build systems we cannot repair. If the underlying intuition is broken, the technology becomes a fancy way to be wrong at scale. To see clearly, we must stop rushing toward labels. We have to strip away the intimidating language and look at the raw, messy situation underneath. Gaining a functional grasp of a system requires setting aside these names to study the specific building blocks and how they connect. This begins with a shift in philosophy. Instead of asking what the final answer is, we look at the situation and ask what it is physically made of. Imagine leaving the digital realm and standing on a beach. You take a stick and draw a straight, deep line through wet sand, separating the white seashells from the black volcanic stones. That single physical boundary represents the core concept of an algorithm. It is a rule that decides which side of the line an object belongs on. This graphic illustrates how classification works. We act as teachers, defining the borders and forcing the data points into strictly adhering to our rules. Clustering operates differently. Instead of acting as a teacher, the system takes the role of an explorer. Notice how the data behaves here. By looking for natural gravity within the information, similar points pull toward one another without human intervention. Mathematics and code provide a formalized language used to listen to these naturally occurring relationships. The complex equations are merely tools for recording the patterns that human observation has already noticed. Algorithms automate basic human intuition, translating simple logic into high-speed execution. When we scale these concepts up, we encounter hidden layers. A common assumption is that deeper learning requires gathering massive amounts of raw information. Depth organizes information rather than accumulating it. It allows a system to view the same data through a more structured lens. Each layer acts as a gentle filter. Its purpose is to translate chaos into order, one step at a time. As the information passes through, each sequential filter extracts a specific feature, intentionally hiding irrelevant details so the true structure can finally emerge. Meaning is carefully constructed layer by layer. Deep learning relies on this patience rather than brute complexity. These foundational layers and algorithms eventually combine to form the massive, interconnected systems that manage our modern world. But intelligent systems pose a unique danger. They do not fail loudly or with dramatic crashes. They fail slowly and invisibly. This graph demonstrates system drift. The solid line represents a static computational model, while the dotted line shows the real world slowly curving away as conditions change. Without constant monitoring, a static model becomes confidently wrong. It continues to operate, quietly accumulating tension without anyone realizing the map no longer matches the terrain. This is why errors must be treated as crucial diagnostic information. They are signals that the environment has shifted, not shameful failures of the original design. The threat lies in the silence of the drift. If we stop monitoring the invisible gap between a model and reality, the system continues to operate on outdated logic. Tools only become safe when we actively define their boundaries and acknowledge exactly what they cannot know. A healthy system is designed to guide behavior, not force control. It works with the environment rather than building rigid walls against it. In the future, machines will calculate and deliver answers faster than ever before. This foundation of first principles keeps human wisdom at the center. As machines provide answers faster, our role shifts to asking better questions.